Thank you so much for staying with us on News Hub. It's the first episode in the year 2021, and we're setting an agenda for this year. We'll also take a look back at what happened in the year 2020, and this time joining us is the man in charge when it comes to entertainment on Silverbird News 24. When you hear Anthony Abraham, Silverbird News 24 is right here this morning.
You're always mocking me.
I don't mock you, I just love it. I love that line.
Oh my goodness. You probably have to pay for it because I'm going to have it patent pretty soon.
I'll pay, no problem.
Yes, and I'm happy being here. I think it's like very cozy.
So nice to have you on the program. So many things happened.
David is Ivy.
Don't mind him. We had so many people. We always look forward to hearing from you what happened because we knew you give it to us punchline and everything.
Yes.
Within 30 seconds, if you can you chronicle the high points of what happened in the year 2020, and then let's set agenda for the year 2021.
Okay, quickly, one of the first events that kicked off was our events. Man of the Year.
Yes.
And we were excited. And not long after that, I think a few weeks after that, was our AMVCA, which we all know. You understand? AMVCA. So it was just after AMVCA, and there was a calendar, obviously, for a huge year. And all of a sudden, boom, we all had to go home. Some of us, obviously, were still working. I was one of the people who went home, and, tremendously things just changed. And I really, appreciated how we could still push news. The news never stops. I'm at home, and, we're packaging stories from home, voicing your scripts, getting entertainment news on the internet. It showed us how well we could work remotely to call some of the entertainers, and they could give us content. I would tell some of them, look, just use your phone. Horizontally, record, send to me. The ones who had cameras, and content was on television. So that we had to change quickly. And it worked for some of us who were so alert to say, this change is here, embrace it quickly. But some other people, it was a challenge because the fear was, obviously, because we were at home, there won't be events. A journalist that is just waiting for just events, you're in trouble. So we had to create news and have people still say it's all about entertainment. They had to be glued to Silverbird. So yes, events shut down, but still content was working. Some, very, very few Nigerian artists who had that streaming platform could still generate revenue from their music, but a lot of them had to shut down, and it was really bad.
What were those major events that shut down like 2020 that you really were disappointed that, this COVID-19, why did you come?
Rhythm Unplugged,
oh,
MVGN,
yes.
MVGN.
Yes.
They're like ours,
Ours.
So Rhythm Unplugged, obviously Flight Time, but it's also related to us, and our MVGN, obviously, that's us. So that really hit us. We had our children's event we wanted to do in Christmas too. That really hit us. So that's us. Before I even go outwards, what hit us? MVGN, that's one thing we're all crazy about, and I'm really into that. So that really hurt us, and that's us. Let's not even look at there. So many events, locally, internationally. Daria was going to have a big event at Echo Hotel this Christmas. Boom. Echo Hotel couldn't have their tropical Christmas. Gone. So there were just too many events. But, somehow the film people could, it was after the ease, that ease, and when the government said, okay, let's start again gradually. Cleverly, some of them had some premieres, very little, and it helped. So that open window helped a lot of them. And they had, from the Neka to the Rattlesnake to the Omogeto to Kambili to Meet the Kojos. These films had the opportunity to quickly have a few premiere and tell people, go to the cinemas. Yes, capacity has been reduced. But we just heard Omogeto had done over 120 million. And it opened in Christmas. So it tells how, there's that thirst and hunger for entertainment because people are at home.
Yeah, so we also begin to look at how much had gone down. Economically, how much the industry had lost. Huge sums of money had been lost. But then let's compare international entertaining and scene to our scene. Do you think the Nigerian entertainers actually did plug into the reality compared to what other entertainers abroad did?
Very few, from Mr. Easy to Burna Boy, Wizkid, because they already have the international connection. Because Easy is doing collaboration with some very scary entertainers now, Major Lazer and brands like that.
Why scary?
Oh, these guys are huge. I mean, brands like a Major Lazer, how do you even get to connect to brands like that? How do you get to work with someone of that, status? Because you already can't tell. So if he's doing stuff with people like that already, you can tell that he already has planned his future. So for him, he could survive. And just a few, like I said, handful, Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido, they could. But the problem for me now is there are so many here who are local, who don't have all that experience. How are these guys going to survive? Like you said earlier, international market, they have it already. I mean, Disney Plus is, they had over 20 million subscribers in how many days? So they can release at the theater with a minimal number and can do their streaming platform and still generate revenue. And that's going to be the anthem for 2021.
So to
release at cinema and go on streaming platform. That will work internationally, like you said. How is that going to work here? Internet is bad. Who's streaming? They don't want to watch.
To speak.
David, you know those people, they're on their phone, 2 minutes, watch everything, switch off their data again. That's the average Nigerian. They manage their data. They just switch on a bit, get their updates, they switch off again. How do you expect someone like that to stream an entire movie? So it's going to be a challenge. How are we going to survive with these streaming platforms? I mean, Netflix did about 35 million subscribers in a quarter. That's scary. That's really, really
that's
scary.
Huge, yeah.
It's scary. I mean, how would you do that? HBO Max and what they're doing with the Snyder Cut, those guys had a huge number of people sign up and say, we want a Snyder's Cut version of the Justice League version. And they knew that these people who have petitioned Zack Snyder that, look, we have a new version, we want a new version of this movie, will just automatically go to their streaming platform, they'll generate revenue.
Anthony,
but at home, it's going to be a problem.
I know there were lots of revelations in the year 2020, also in the midst of a pandemic, because now I'm singing loading, I'm singing cash out, I'm singing lots of things.
There's one you haven't.
Which one?
Femi.
I know Fema. Femi is the video, but I'm talking about revelations as new people that were young guys that were on the block.
Yes,
that really
yes,
came in the midst of the pandemic, also for the country. Let's lump that with the expectations for the year 2021.
Well, I believe that those who are ready, not everybody will be ready. It's impossible to have everybody ready. Just a few would be ready. Understand, and they've changed, and they're ready for the year, and they've planned. Just like I said, like a handful started streaming platforms here, from Files to Basket Mount. Very few. It's also cost. You're looking at the cost. You understand how to create, how to be able to upload. So I'm looking at the grassroots. How will they survive? But very few of them will emerge. They understand that, look, in case we don't have live activations anymore, how do we survive? And human beings must be entertained. It's a major factor of existence, you understand? So they're already saying, let's look at online. What can we create? And luckily for the comedians who create these skits, they don't even have that much stress. They just put it right there. It could even be 60 seconds of a skit. And what happens? Boom, it's out there.
Bursts.
So those comedians I might say, are lucky. They've cashed onto a new experience and it's working for them. And like I said, it could be a short as 60 seconds. But once it's on the smartphone and everybody knows that's my go-to for my therapy, what happens? They begin. So those few will be able to excel. And for the music guys, what they can do would also be streaming. But like we all know, it's a challenge. No more live activations, no more concerts where you can perform and have a large crowd. So how do we do this on social media? That's going to be a Herculean task.
Well, on a very good day, what are those, one moment, David, what are those things, the big events that you would normally should happen in the year 2021?
Of course, we should start with our
Of course, we have to do it.
MVGem must hold this year. No way, no way. MVGem must hold this year. We're going to make sure we're going to have an amazing show this year. So those for us is big. And obviously, we're looking at the AMVCA, of course. AMVCA is always there. These events are always there. Obviously, we're looking at our Rhythm Unplugged again this year. Sound City, there are concerts. Hip TV's Headies. So those are events that we must always have.
We would love to have.
We would love to have them. They're like our calendar. It's part of our culture already when we don't see those events. And of course, there's some other fashion events. We know all our fashion festivals. From the Lagos Fashion and Design Week, we had the full festival. Then we have some great art events, even Art 21. Then Terra Culture has all her big cultural festivals from her Broadway and theater production. So it's a lot. The list is endless. Lagos doesn't play when it comes to the events.
Maybe we should start thinking of another way of having this show. Should this whole thing continue? We should be thinking
I think virtual will work with a capacity that can be controlled.
Yes.
So have a certain number, have the performers, make sure it's COVID compliant. have representatives be there to monitor, then plugging virtual, it will work. So at the same time, it's even creating content for us too, television. So that way, I know there can be a balance. Look, human beings will always survive.
Anthony, we're bringing you back. We're bringing you back in a bit. So thank you so much for being part of News Hub this New Year Day.
Yes.
We're looking forward to so many things from your stable.
Thank you.
Anthony. I used to call him Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
Anthony, I do that.
AJ.
But you know, Anthony Abraham.
I'm AA.
Thank you so much, Anthony Abraham, for being part of News Hub. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, you'll be seeing the face you see every morning, weekday, and she's talking sports. Stay with us.